TaxAct knows filing taxes can be confusing, so we have live experts on hand who can help answer any questions you may have. Questions like, can I claim my SUV as my home office if I answer work emails in my car? If I adopted 12 dogs this year, can I list them as dependents? And, am I doing this right, or am I doing this very, very wrong? Our experts have the answers to those questions and many others. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
This episode is brought to you by Fandango. People say fans are too distracted these days, but the truth is, when a great movie hits the screen, you show up. You stay glued, invested, part of the story. And without fans like you, there'd be no cinema magic, no shared moments. So head to Fandango.com to get tickets, stream, or rent or buy top movies and series. Fandango loves fans.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, man, if I would have known back then how, I guess, upset people get when you talk about their video game, I probably wouldn't have turned it into a form of content, because it really shows how people lack knowledge when it comes to gaming. You know, like, you could tell that they've gotten into gaming over the recent years, and they'll try to lie, because that's the thing, like, you can't really do a whole lot of research or on a person, especially if they're nobody. So it's like, you don't really know if, I guess, like, if they have been playing video games for a long period of time. But if you have, I just find it crazy how you can defend a modern day video game, and you came from that not lifestyle, but that generation. Okay, there we go. I was like, I don't know why that word, like, lifestyle, it was just such an off the wall word that came to mind. But anyways, but you come from that old generation of gaming when games were just so well put together. You say that era of gaming is bad and the current era of gaming is good, where they expect you to pay more for less, and then on top of that, they're going to shut the game down, I guess, either if it doesn't live up to its expectations, or it gets to a point where it's like, okay, well, we are too lazy to continue working on this game, so the best thing we could do is just shut it down. Nobody's gonna get their money back, and that's just how it's gonna go. My question is to people, though, is how can you defend modern day gaming, but the gaming that we used to, you know, like we had fun with back in the day, like that wasn't good enough, you know? And it's funny to me, like, when people, because lately I have been ranting about a lot of different video games, and that's one thing that people like to say is that the game is good. They just leave it at that. They just say that the game is good. They don't explain how the game is good based off of their own experience. That's what I'm supposed to go based off of, and I'm supposed to just leave it at that. The game is good. And it's crazy because they'll comment underneath videos where I'm having a good argument, you know? And that's the thing. I guess, like, I'm not really looking at my argument on being good or bad, but I just want people to understand my experience, and that if you share a similar I guess, like, response when it comes to a bad video game, I don't want to lie to you and say, like, oh, this game is good, when it's not. Like, I'm not gonna lie to people. I think people need to understand that I'm a content creator. I got a reputation to maintain. I'm not gonna be out here lying to people saying, oh, a game is good, then when they buy it and it's not, then they're looking at me and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not the one that developed it. Yeah, they're not hearing that. If I go and make a video, because that's why you look at a lot of times, like IGN, for an example, when they come out with reviews for video games, a lot of times you have to see a second opinion, because there's at times where they will review, because let's just see what the review was for Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 IGN review. Let's see. So they reviewed they gave it a 10 out of 10. I wonder if they got, like, a list of, like, all their 10 out of 10 games. Where is their review at? Oh, okay, there it goes. I wonder, review scoring, review practices. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I thought there was, like, a thing where they would let you know, like, all the, like, 10 out of 10, games reviewed by IGN that has a 10. Okay, there we go. So other people had also every modern game modern game IGN has given a 10 out of 10. Okay. So, Elden Ring, Shadow of Erdtree. That got a 10 out of 10. Stardew Valley, Asgard's Wrath 2, Baldur's Gate 3, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4, Dead Cells, Return to Castlevania, Metroid Prime Remastered, Dwarf Fortress, Pentiment, I think. That's the name of that game. God of War, Ragnarok, Elden Ring, Forza Horizon 5, Deathloop, Disco, Elysium, The Final Cut, Spelunky, I think that's that word, Crusaders King, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Last of Us. The Last of Us, I think people just didn't like the story, but I had to say, for the most part, I don't think nobody had really sat down and criticized the game itself. But, no, overall, though, there are a lot of different games that they have given a perfect 10 out of 10 rating. And then, and the thing is this, when I see that, and then people, because I look at those as like, okay, those are the good games. Those are the games where I'm like, you can't find, and even if there is something wrong with it, it's most likely going to get fixed within a certain amount of time. Now, the one game that I have been talking on recently, because I have been playing it a little bit recently, is The Division 2. Now, having it where people are telling me that this is a good game, and let's see what their rating is on IGN, if it was a rating. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you gotta look at his second opinion. They gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Hold on for a second. I feel like that, did they, 8 points, so they considered it great. Okay, let's see, games on IGN that, got 7 rating. Let's just what games have been rated by IGN 7 or below that is considered really good. The Alien Isolation review, they gave it a 5.9. Let's see where some other, I think like everybody's just saying a 7 for 2016 Doom. They really, wow, okay. I guess okay, this looks like I've never heard of any of those games. I don't even know. Yeah, it's at times like you just ask like a direct question and it's just everybody's just saying the same thing. And it's like, fam, you guys, like, y'all gotta look through comments. Like, that's one thing where I'm like, I just don't like when, okay, no, actually, this video game review. So there is a section on IGN 7.9 or 7.0 to 7.9. So let's see. High Guard. So my thing is this, right? Are you guys gonna tell me that High Guard, it's in that same ballpark? Because that's how I look at it, where it's like you're kind of in that same ballpark, because everybody's gonna say that was a bad game. IGN gave it a 7. So I know a lot of people are going to be sitting there talking about, oh, yeah, see, IGN gave The Division 2 a 8.5. So my thing is this, right? If that review is deserving, then the High Guard review should be deserving too, because they got this in the same category as Yakuza, Kiwami 3, and Dark Ties. They have this in also in the same section, WWE 2K26. What are some other games that they have? Battlefield RedSec, NASCAR 25. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of different games. So that's what I mean by like IGN. You really have to, and I guess like that's why I'm, say what I say and give games reviews and stuff, because I would consider myself that second opinion. Okay, IGN gave it an 8.5. They had some sort of fun with the game. And that's another thing too. You don't see, the funny thing is that when you see people, when they'll give a game a good ratings or whatever, like IGN for an example, you don't see these guys still. They might talk about it, they might post the trailer showing the some new content that's coming out for the game. But I wonder if IGN has like a streaming, let's see, IGN Twitch, IGN. So they do have a Twitch channel. Let's see if they have like their latest games. Oh, so they played The Division 1. But yeah, I'm looking it up on their thing, recent broadcasts. Yeah, it just looks like that their Yeah, they just that was there. I was thinking along the lines like maybe they might have made a mistake and had it set up where it was the Division 2 that they played, but are they even playing it, or are they hold on for a second. Let me just see something real quick, cuz it didn't even look like they were actually playing it. It just looked like they were just talking on some stuff. But they wasn't actually playing the game. How are they going to do? So they didn't even play the game. They just streamed some stuff that you could have just very well watched. I'm pretty sure Ubisoft has a streaming channel, and you could just. So it didn't even look like they were playing the game. So maybe they might have some people that work for IGN they do play the Division 2. But my thing is this: you gave that game an 8.5, but I don't see y'all playing it. Usually, I feel like my thing is this: if you give a game a good rating, that you're still gonna be playing it. And I feel like there's going to be people out there that'll say, oh, well, there's at times where you ain't giving games good ratings and you still don't be playing it. Yeah, but that's the thing. Okay, so you know what? Let's just say, for an example, Spider-Man 2. That's a game where nobody has said nothing bad about it, at least. And if they did, it's stuff that nobody is paying attention to. You're playing as Spider-Man fighting crime. That is literally the best possible way of going about that game. Now, if they had it set up on some stuff where they come out with that game, I guess like how to make a bad Spider-Man game is that if you come out with it, and it's kind of like a story base, like there's no action. It's kind of like how like they did that Telltale Walking Dead series. Now imagine if they came out with a Spider-Man game like that. Now it probably would be good, but to have it where you can't web swing, and you know what? And you know what's funny? The one game where I remember they did have some Spider-Man content in there, and people didn't like it, was that Avengers game that they came out with. Because they did there, I think it was on TikTok or YouTube? I just remember watching a short video where they were showing the side-by-side comparison of Spider-Man 2 and Marvel's Avengers, and they were like with their Spider-Man stuff in there, and I'm like, fam, it's seriously like the good and just straight to the ugly. Like it wasn't good. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Marvel Avengers, that was a game where it should have been good, but the way that they went about it, I'm like, this don't make me feel like I'm an Avengers. I would honestly rather just sit down and watch the movie, because what this is, I'm like, yeah, and that's why when you look up that game, it ended up shutting down. So my thing is this, and you know, if I had to compare that Avengers video game to the Division 2, I feel like people probably would ask me that question. Between those two, which game would you say is better? I guess like I don't know if we'll ever see a Division movie, but I feel like that I probably would enjoy the movie a lot more than I did the game, because I'm like, okay, they're getting straight to the point and they're not, teasing stuff or like on some stuff where it's like, oh, you got to do 15,000 jumping jacks just to see the next scene, or there's a 7% chance of you seeing the next scene and stuff. No, they're like, I'm pretty sure that they would go about it in a good way, but the difference between, I guess, the Avengers game and the movies is that the way you would be going into that game thinking you're going to get the same experience as those guys got in the movies, but it's like it just felt like you were doing more work than actually having fun with the game. And I'm like, fam, because I just remember when they added Black Panther. Now I was excited for that, because I was all like, okay, I've seen the movie was good, I played a little bit of this Avengers game, it was all right, but they can't go wrong with Black Panther. Fam, this stuff that they had me doing like obstacle courses in a cave. And I'm thinking to myself, when did you see, and that's the stuff that I talk about with video games, where it's like, if it was based off of a movie, when did you guys see that in the movie where Black Panther is, the only part that I seen where he was inside of a cave was when he was fighting with Killmonger. At what point in time was he going through an obstacle course? And I would imagine if they're going to showcase that in the movie, it's just going to be a simple get through the obstacle course, and then he goes on to do whatever he needs to do next, but they ain't going to have it where it's like, oh, he keeps dying. And because if they had movies based off of how video games were played, nobody would be watching movies. They were like, okay, I might as well just, if I'm just going to see the main character keep getting killed over and over. Like, let's say if they made an Elden Ring movie. I think they are actually making, because I think they did say they were making either a TV show or a movie, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to have it where the main character gets killed 15,000 times before they finally get to the end of the series, because that's going to probably take the show, 80 years to have to recreate the stuff over and over. Yeah, that's doing too much. So they're going to have it where it's just an easy, simple, get to the point, End of the movie. That's it. That's all that you need to do. But with the Division, it's like, if I could just sit down and talk on that, it's like, well, actually, no, because I was talking on the Avengers, so let me just make my point with that. So when you're playing the Avengers video game, you're not going to get the same experience when watching the movie. It's seriously two different things. And that's why I was all like, when playing that video game, it did get to a point where I was all like, there's nothing fun about this. If you got me doing some obstacle course stuff with Black Panther, you got where Spider-Man, he can only swing from one lamppost to another lamppost, rather than in the Spider-Man video games, they have it where he's swinging from building to building, throwing himself up in the air. It's like, man, it was at times where I'm like, there's no reason to drive they don't even have like no driving cars mechanics, but if they did, I'm like, fam, they're like, no, I'm swinging around the city. Like, now playing the Spider-Man games, you're getting an actual Spider-Man experience, right? Now I guess with talking on the Division, because the Division was like, that was, I believe, an original like work of Ubisoft. So the Division, because it comes from the Tom Clancy series, so there wasn't no books of the Division. But I would imagine that if Tom Clancy, if he did write a book about the Division, he's not going to go about it in a way where, okay, for an example, they had electric floors in there. I haven't really sat down and read. No, Tom, I wonder, like, you know what, let's just look it up. Were there any electric floors in any of the Tom Clancy books? Let's just see. Tom Clancy. So it's funny how it's like, you look that up, no, nothing pops up. Like, there's no. So let's ask Chat GPT. Let's see what they would say about it. Hold on for a second. I'm just trying to go and copy and paste Chat GPT. Let's see. Okay, we got it. All right, question mark. Let's see. Yes, electric floors do show in time fiction core in Clancy's mainline books, like The Hunt for Red October, Rainbow Six. He tends to stick to very close to the real world. Electric floors are not known or notable feature in his. Wait a minute. Yes, electric floors, and then it goes on to say electric floors are not a known or notable feature in his original novels. He's more focused on realistic. Okay, so realistic stuff. And then, so I think, yeah, they do talk on the video games, but not in the books. Okay, so all right, so that was so confusing. I was like, they say yes, but no. I just, Chat GPT. I'm like, fam, we're gonna have a conversation after I'm done with this podcast episode. But anyways, yeah, it's like they don't mention nothing like that in the book. So it's like, why would you guys add? So they had something like that set up, and then they had like some turrets that had flamethrowers attached to them. What else? Oh, and then they had, so that was the reason why I just recently uninstalled the game, was because they had these dogs where it was, so any other time when they would have like stuff shoot you with a flamethrower, usually have a little bit of time of getting out of the way and stuff. And for some reason with doing this mission, they had it where the dogs had these flamethrowers and it just takes away your health and you're shooting at them. And I'm like, fam, if I'm shooting at them and I'm doing all of this damage, why is it that, or it's like, why am I not doing enough damage to where that I can kill them a lot faster and then I'm not dying? Like, that's the thing I think that developers forget and seem to not understand, is that people want to get through to the game. They don't want to have it where it's like they get stuck on a mission. Because I guess, like, when I sit down and I think of video games from like back when I was younger, right? And it's funny because, like, I didn't really beat a whole lot of different video games when I was younger. But it's crazy because playing them now, I'm like, these games seem so much easier. And I guess maybe it has a lot to do with that. I didn't really know a whole lot about gaming at that time being, because I'm like, yeah, there's so many different games. I'm trying to learn this game and I'm trying to learn that game. And at the same time, I am a kid in school, so I'm not really all that focused on video games. But I'm trying. All right, I will at least say that. But my thing is that when playing a game, And there were games that I played when I was younger where I was all like, I wasn't even caring about progression. Like, the game was that fun, like, to where it's just, you're not even really like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, if we're talking good games, that's a good game. If, I guess, like, I think I did mention this before, like, old titles, how there were good games within that time frame. And even if we just look at new titles today, because I wonder, let me go back to that IGN website and see what they have, like games that were in that rating of the Division. So is this okay? 8.9. So Screamer, that was a racing game. I can't really speak too much on that game. Did that? Oh, that was, yeah, okay, that was that Terminator game. I was like, wait a minute, did that game? Okay. So, a game that is just, it's 0.5 points off from the Division 2. Would you guys say that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is in the same ballpark as the Division 2? Because that's what IGN is saying. So if IGN, my thing is this, if IGN is wrong on that, but they're not wrong on the Division, that's why people come to me and they ask me about video games for a second opinion. Because I'm saying, like, if you're just going based off of and that's the thing that people need to understand, is that, yes, you might have had a good experience with that game. I'm not going to take that away from you. I didn't have a good experience with the game. I had a bad experience. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to what I'm going to be doing with my time when playing a video game, do you think I'm going to be going based off of your experience or the experience that I just had? That's the stuff that people need to sit down and think about, because I'm pretty sure a lot of those people that want to sit around and defend the Division, I guarantee and I promise you, throughout your time, if you've been playing video games for a long period of time, I guarantee and I promise you, there's that one video game that you played that got you to that point where you're like, nope, I will never play that game again. That game sucks. I would, and it's funny because there was like Battlefield 6, Borderlands 4, and NBA 2K26. Yeah, that's insane. Madden NFL 26. Where are some other games they got on this list where it's like, fam, Dune Awakening, people gave that game bad ratings. What else? Yeah, there's a lot of different games that they have on this list where I'm like, fam, there's some games where I'm all like, there is no way possible you guys really are giving these games, like, they got like why they got multiple Call of Duty Black Ops 6 games. IGN. That's what I'm like at times. I remember I used to look at them for reviews and stuff, but then I was all like, yeah, there was a lot of times where I was buying games based off of a review that they left, and I'm like, this ain't a good game. No, I gotta either get my money back or go and just trade this game in and just be like, all right, I'll just trade it in towards another game. But yeah, I was like, there's at times where I'm like, man, I didn't get playing the Division. No, it wasn't fun. And I'm like, and there's nothing that a person can say or like, well, no, that's the funny thing is, so people, when I say bad things about, video games, they don't say anything that's like, I guess that's worth responding to. Like, so, okay, so just like how I did this podcast episode, or let's just say, for an example, if I'm sitting down talking about the Division, I'm like, okay, the game is bad because the loot system is broken. Everybody keeps saying, oh, you just gotta play this one mode, even though there's multiple modes that you can play in that game. And then when you do play the other modes in the game, they have it on some fixed difficulty settings where for some reason the difficulty keeps getting higher and higher, and I'm like, fam, I don't want the difficulty to get higher and higher. I just want it to be at where it's at so I can enjoy myself with the game. But then when you do leave it on a low difficulty, you don't get no good loot. So at the end of the day, you are stuck in a conflicting situation on whether do I continue playing this game or do I not continue playing this game. So therefore, no, I don't like the game. The game is bad. It's all over the place and the looting is broken. And then all people say when you say some stuff like that, all they just say is, no, it's not. I had a good time with the game. Okay. What does your good time with the game have to do with the bad time that I just had with the game? I'm like, that's why I'm like, it's things like that where I'm like, people, if you know you're going to say stuff like that, don't say nothing. Just don't say nothing to that individual, all right? Because I guarantee and I promise you on some real life stuff, like and that's the thing, because people, you notice like they are quick to say stuff like that on the internet. But let's say in a local GameStops, I'm in there having the same conversation. you most likely ain't gonna say nothing. You'll probably wait till you get home and then be all like, oh yeah, this guy was off in GameStop's ranting about the Division 2. Sounds like he sucks at the game. Sounds like it's a skill issue. The same old stuff that any and everybody else says, but you're not hitting the person with an actual factual how the game is good. That's what I would like to know. How is this game good? Not from your perspective, but from a general perspective where I'm like, dang, maybe I am wrong. Maybe you are right. Maybe this game is good. But until I've heard something that can convince me that this game is good, fam, if people ask me, should I get the Division 2? I'm gonna be like, no. I don't care what updates done came out. I don't care what seasons done came out. I don't care what DLCs done came out. The game is not good. Not right now. All right. If Ubisoft gave it a little bit more time rather than giving Rainbow Six Siege all this different time, maybe, just maybe, the game could possibly be good. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.